some people might have caught it earlier. You're married to Santigold.
Santigold, yeah.
Santigold. Whoops.
Yeah, no, that's all good.
When did you meet her? How did that unfold? Because this is way before she became kind of like a household name at one point, right?
Yeah, I met Santi in New York. I was actually snowboarding. It was before, it was like 2003-ish or something,
Right.
before I had my big injury. But I'd met her because I was at this magazine. I was hanging out in New York because we were doing like a promotional tour for the snowboard brand. And so we did like a party and like showed the snowboard video or whatever. And I was hanging out at this spot called Fridge Magazine because I had some friends there, and it was kind of like it became Frank 151.
Oh wow.
But previous to that, it was the guys from there at Fridge. It was kind of like a snowboard, skate, fashion, hip hop, graffiti. Like it was just a culture magazine. So when I would pop into New York, I would hang out with those guys, and Santi was in town from Philly. She had a band called Stiffed. It was like a punk rock band, and she was doing her first photo shoot, and she had just made her demo tape. I was leaving the office, and my friend was like, "Yo," my friend Seth was like, "Yo, stay. My friend's picking me up. We'll drop you off at the hotel." And it happened to be Santi, and she was playing me her demo tape, all shy about it. And I was like, "Wow, this is dope." And then
You believed right away?
Huh?
You believed right away?
I did. I
Really?
did. I was like, and we just had like a lot in common, and we were talking about music. And the one thing was crazy because I was like, we were talking about music, and I was saying rare bands that I knew nobody fucking knows. And I was like, oh yeah, one of my favorite bands is McRad. And she was like, oh yeah, Chuck, that's my drummer. And I'm like, what? And so I left the next day for Switzerland, and I was in Switzerland for like 2 months filming my video part, and we just stayed in touch. And I ended up getting hurt, and I went back to Philly, and then yeah, here we are like 20 years later.
How many years after that did she blow up? And I assume that puts a lot of strain on a relationship, but did you guys just keep it together?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I feel like in our journey, it's been like a lot of like when she's up,
Yeah.
maybe I'm like, we've supported each other. So like and I've always been really excited for her, and she's been excited for me. So, and you know, that's what she wanted, and I wanted for her too. You know, she was an amazing, the music she was creating at that time was like something new, and it was once she started Santigold, it was like, I mean, I'm a big fan of Stiff too. I love the Stiff records, but yeah, it was something she really wanted, and it was rad to see it happen in her life too, for her to have that vision and to go hard with it, and for it to manifest itself into her making that her life, you know?
Was she just like nonstop on the road and having to do a million different things for this? Like, is there like a period in your memory of the relationship that was kind of chaotic because she was just being pulled in so many directions for a few years?
Not really, because I think that I was always used to that life too, because I was always traveling, snowboarding, and I was used to, so it was exciting to me to, oh, we're going to the UK to do something. Oh, cool. I'm
Right.
rolling, like whatever. And then once we had kids, you know, it was cool too, because we were pre-pandemic, like rolling around on the tour bus with our first son, and then I would be doing art stuff, and we would kind of just be, yeah, it's like a nice balance, you know?
That's some commitment. You went 12 years before you had a kid or so.
Yeah.
And then 4 years before you went for it again.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. That's a crazy trajectory right there.
Yeah,
Most
for
people
real.
don't wait that long, and they don't wait that long in between.
And most people just don't make it that long.
Facts.
You
yeah.
know, but yeah, we've been lucky, and we chase our dreams, and we support each other in that way. And I feel like most of the people in my life are people that I see doing the same thing. You know, I see them chasing their dreams, and I guess that's how we're all attracted to each other, and we support each other. And I mean, my older brother, he's you know, a game designer. He always loved video games, and he made that his life. He moved out to the West Coast and started working for like EA and Ubisoft and all these. Now he's working with a new brand. And yeah, my younger sister Maggie, she's working on music. My younger brothers, they learn Japanese and they live in Japan and teach English and do it. So it's like, and then all my friends, I feel like I just have a bunch of rad people around me that we all love and support and push each other to be great. And
Definitely.
so, yeah.
Becoming a dad, did that change a shitload in your life? Like what was your life like prior and after in broad strokes?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, becoming a father definitely changes everything. But I think that the biggest thing that it changed for me from my old way of living is just having some kind of sense of time. I never knew what fucking day of the week or month it was. I still kind of don't know. I do know the days of the week, and I know that I got to get up at,
I feel
7
you, though.
o'clock and get the kids
I've had
to
this
school.
problem for much of my life as well. I never had a schedule until the past couple of years.
Right.
It was just whatever seemed fun.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess that's the biggest change. And then just being a dad, I'm still me. That was my biggest fear about being a dad, was just like I was afraid that it was going to change things so much that I wouldn't be able to be me. And it's like I'm me and I'm more successful than I was previous to having a kid. I think it really let me know like how precious time is and how you've got to really, if you want to do something, you got to like use that time wisely, and then you have the other time to spend with your children and share all of the rad stuff that you're doing in your life with them. It's like I'm just a big kid, and I just, I bring them to the studio, and Santi brings them on the road, and we bring them to shows, and they're around a bunch of, they're already, I'm looking at them like, wow, like you're my favorite artists. Like they're exposed to so much, and it's fun just to share that with them, man.
I feel like every kid becoming aware of their parents' profession is like interesting in a variety of different ways. But the art thing must be like really fun to share with a kid, because every kid's an artist.
I was just about to
inherently,
say,
right?
everybody's an artist. So yeah, it's fun to really encourage that. Whereas I think that aside from like my mom being like, as a kid, like always getting me paper and stuff to draw on, and me spending all that time, like a lot of people in my life, like teachers and friends, I guess other parents and stuff, were always like, it's unrealistic to be an artist. It's not. And so it's the opposite with us. We are like so encouraging, where it's like, I mean, it doesn't matter to me if they become artists. I just love to see them freely create, and I just love it. It inspires me so much, because the things that they create and the way that they just are so free is amazing. Because I think
that's the part of your brain you're trying to tap into when you're working, right?
Of course, that I think
the
that
little kid.
Every great artist is trying to find that moment of complete, where you're not like so influenced, or there's no ceiling to something. It's just, it could be however it comes out. It doesn't have to be like any way. And I think that is just translating a feeling. That's art,
Right. Damn. Do the kids experiment with music a lot too?
Yeah. Recently when I was rehearsing with the band, because we actually I did a show for the first time in like 7 years.
Really?
With Prayers, and actually another artist, Alex Sucks, who I really like. I was just rehearsing at the house, and they just jumped on the mics, and like I had an instrumental going, and they like just, I was blown away by like the way that they translated their feeling onto the beat. And like my youngest son, Honor, he really loves this band Zulu. It's like have you heard them?
No.
LA band, hardcore band, really sick. But he was just like screaming on the mic, and like it's rad. It's just so pure and honest,
Right. It's interesting though, because I feel like you can raise your kid to have the spirit of an artist, but in some way that might at a certain point make it harder for you to get them to just like go to fucking class or like have a part-time job or whatever.
Yeah.
Like when you bring them up in this atmosphere where everything is fun and creative,
I
it's
feel like I'm already experiencing that with my.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, I don't want to go to school.
Right, because
I'm like, I feel you.
Yeah. Like you're not able to hide the fact that like, yeah, I wouldn't want to either if I were you.
Yeah.
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 But I imagine like early you being like just
How
working.
the fuck are you not sweating, bro? It's so
Oh,
hot.
it is
with
hot as
these
shit. Yeah,
lights.
hey man. We're almost done. But
All good.
the one thing I imagine is I imagine like you doing art all night a lot of times back in the day. And now I imagine you being on like much more of a tight schedule.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I imagine your younger self just kind of like working all night and just going crazy, letting your creativity flow at all hours of the day. I assume that that's changed with fatherhood. You're on more of a schedule at this point.
Yeah, for sure. So like I drop the kids off at school and then I come here. I'm usually here from like 10 to 2:30 and I really use that time to sometimes I don't force it either. Like if it doesn't feel like it's happening, I'll just like listen to some records or watch some films or make some calls or just do something productive. Feed my mind somehow. And then sometimes I come back in the evenings, like maybe once a week or twice a week. But like, yeah, I definitely work on a schedule now, and I really use that time wisely.
Hey, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe. We just hit 200K. We're trying to get to 300K.
Turn us up.
Appreciate y'all.
Let's go.